Alright guys, we're back with Tales of Arise. So last time we left off, we finally found a spaceship, gave it a name, I forgot what the name was, and now we're on Lenegis. And I'm about to handle side quests. Well, one side quest. Let me switch it over to, there we go.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
We're about to find out more about the Lords. Urwalsi Teldalis.
Yes! Yes!
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
Jeez.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
Good idea.
What?
Ganabelt was so horrible to people. Yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us, Dan?
Yeah, so we named it Fall Knights. There it is.
It's...
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed, the effects of Lenegis' transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
Pardon me.
Chineris? Oh, that's Almadria, right? Yep. If you guys hear like a weird...
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
So if you guys hear a knocking in the background, that's because my room is literally right next to the garage, and we have a washing machine out there, so I have to deal with this whenever the washing machine's on. I'll probably mute if it starts to become a bother. Actually, I will mute. I'll unmute if I happen to have commentary, don't worry. That's just fucked.
Ridiculous. Okay.
Urwagil Hildris? Oh, I guess Urwagil Hildris was the lord before Volran? And then Volran, like, took it from Hildris?
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volran either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganeth Harros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Renna, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you. Because we're threats to Renna.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others,
Okay, I
they
think
all
the
had
washing
their own
machine's gone, so I can
circumstances to deal
unmute
with
now.
as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters.
What?
Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
No.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
I'm
Being a
sorry.
Danon doesn't make you a
You-
good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Shion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
I don't believe that for 1 second. There's no way they just said, they might have did some horrible shit, but they're still just people. Okay, well, does that... Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna say anything more on that. That was just a bit ridiculous for me. Like, I get that they're not excusing what the Lords did, but the fact that they even said that, suggested it, it's just a little bit stupid for me.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfried Milgras, the former lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfried whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
So there should be 30.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renin by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Corps existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
They're probably synthesizing dark cores and then using that as like the base for the Renis Alma. I'm thinking that's maybe the case. So they're synthesizing it using Danins, like Danins and then Maidens, and then the Danins are like experimented on and forced to become sovereigns. It's probably something like crazy like that, but at the same time I feel like that probably might not be the case and I'm overthinking it. Another skip? Or Zoogle fight?
Doe?
Uh-oh.
Faria.
Oh.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still... kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else.
Oh my gosh.
You're just a coward!
What? Well, that red woman is back.
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
Do all Renans just have a tendency to say fucked up shit? Actually, no, that's me overgeneralizing. But like, come on. That was like a bit much. You did not have to bring up Miguel like indirectly like that. Did I go the wrong way? No, I didn't. I guess I might as well. Yeah, this hierarchy is just like hardwired into all of their heads. See, this is why you keep like a small army of soldiers back on your home base in case shit like this happens. But nah, these people were confident that nothing like this would happen.
Wow, this place is beautiful.
Yeah. It must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnigan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnigan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority, and introduced her to Tarnigan, and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait. Don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less. She would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right.
Avakil?
Alphen,
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer for their assistance.
I'm never selling those weapons.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Oh boy.
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Ho! I am Lord Dohalim of Elder Menentia. I command you.
Threat to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
Die!
Flare tornado! Mega ray!
It's almost too strong.
Split it open!
Be my guest.
Swallow dam! Burn!
Here! Out of ammo!
No
Here
break
goes!
this night.
Go ahead! Not on my watch! Leave the
You're mine!
Blazing flame!
Going in!
Raging Luna Storm. Astral Arts?
That's my cue!
Shut him down. Don't suffer in
Radiant
silence.
here! Searing touch! If it's in the sky, it's mine! Mega ray! Here! Take it! Got it! I never miss! There! Finish it!
I'll smash you!
One more! Here! Mega ray! Eat this! Take it! Finish it! Radiant here goes! Confiscated! Mega ray! Radiant help this! I'm only getting started! Flare tornado! Back into the fray! Radiant here! Mega ray!
No further.
Radiant blood! Here! Mega ray! Astral energy! Full throttle!
Bestow thy mystic mercy.
Got it! It's over!
I'll finish you here
In
and
dirt!
Allow me to help.
First strike!
Or steel! I never miss!
Ready and firing!
Raging
I'm
Luna
in
Storm.
Ground and power! First strike!
Lost! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
I'm telling you, Volran is here on Lenegis. I'm calling it now. Volran is here on Lenegis and he's brainwashing all the soldiers. Actually, while I have the chance, I'm gonna be right back because I gotta use the restroom. So I will be right back, guys. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back, guys. I should have bought items.
This one will be difficult to predict.
One more. Going in.
Nothing.
Your reflexes will not serve you well here.
The fuck? Sorry about that. My phone went off.
Can you take it? You're mine. There. Look shot. Dazzle. Ha. Look shot.
I'm just gonna hurry up and get Iron Cleaver out of the way. I'm just gonna get it in order until I get it.
I'll trip it up.
Denied.
I'm not done.
On guard.
They smite.
You're making me angry. That was a bad idea.
Carve through armor.
Do you
This
require
one's mine.
It's over. Air pressure. Take this.
Lunar blast. This one's mine. This one's mine.
I'm just gonna spam this in one spot until I have this complete.
This one's all mine. In a bind. Take this. Strike.
This one's mine.
Make it rain! Law! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life.
on your
Not a
knees?
chance. No escape. Void
Do it.
blast. Air pressure.
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished.
There.
Now.
Going in.
Take this.
You require
I'm not
help.
done. There. Double demon fang. Be still.
Demon blast.
Shattering of pieces. Attack
Raging Lunar, take this!
Vanish without a trace. Igneous discharge. I never miss. Demon blast. Do it. One's mine.
Yes, I'm really doing this.
Ready to go.
I can carve through armor.
Because I'm pretty sure it counts as a use whether or not I miss or not. Miss or fail. Yeah, I jumped up 20 uses in that one fight. Let's go ahead and switch around the party because I think everyone's already gotten enough uses of nearly everything.
My exploits are bearing fruit. Coming through!
Firmament render!
Raging flame!
Heal my weary
Arrow ball! A chain between heaven and earth. As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough. Divine savior! Tunnel!
Take this! Now I'm in the groove!
Firmament render! Arrow ball!
Can you take it? Take this!
Here goes! On guard! Take that! Bullseye! May 1,000 gales tear you to shreds! Rusty nail! Black outlaw magic! In here!
Their arms were interrupted!
This one's mine! Hydration blah outlaw! Arrow ball! Where are you going? Here goes! Razor cyclone! This one's mine! Far enough! Celestial hammer! This one's mine!
Elusive
Electric shock!
No further!
Look sharp! Raging flame!
May 1,000 gales tear you!
They smite with
Going in.
Do it!
Tunnel!
Execution!
Going in.
Onward!
Eat this!
Hydration ore!
This one's mine.
Raging flame! Swallow dare!
Razor cyclone! Ice prison! Celestial hammer!
Does it hurt? You picked the wrong fight!
Electric shock!
Raging flame!
This one's mine!
Now you see what I can do!
Hydration ore!
Snake of the abyss! Clear for us!
Raging
Not
flame!
my wash! Celestial hammer! Ice prison!
I'll stop it, John.
Thanks, Kisara!
Very simple! Can't get out of bed!
Raging flame!
Failure is not an
Can you
option!
take it?
On guard.
Don't get in my way!
This one's all mine!
Firmament render!
Heal my wearied companion! Cure!
Arrow ball! Firmament render! I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this! Deus roar!
Breath of life! Heal my wearied companion!
This one.
Cure!
I really know the
Denied!
one!
Razor cyclone!
Look sharp.
Tunnel!
Can you take it?
Swallow light!
This one's mine.
Celestial hammer!
That freaking does it!
Breath of life!
Here
Heal my
goes!
wearied companion!
Razor cyclone!
Cure!
Tunnel!
I can carve through armor!
On guard.
Hydration!
Primed and ready. This one's mine.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Look sharp.
First strike! What's this?
Firmament render!
Swallow dance!
Going in.
Thanks arrow ball!
You're all.
Eat this!
Razor cyclone!
Raging flame!
I
Swallow
won't!
dance! All good things come
Celestial
to an
hammer!
end.
This one's mine!
Do it!
Lost!
Demons descend! Flashing fang!
We may be a touch beyond our depth.
We... barely got a look at the thing.
Coming through!
Tempest!
This one's all mine!
Raging sword! If you won't bow out now, then you leave me no choice!
I see what, eh?
Electric not on my watch!
Raging flame!
Tunnel!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And the funneling to me!
Go denied! Go get him! Tempest whirl! Tunnel!
Raging
So you clamor for my true power?
Bullseye! Look sharp! Burning strike! Freaking does it! Divine Raising flame! I can carve through one! My seal! Seal! I'm on Dory Circle! That's enough! Meteor sword! Can you take it? Primed and ready! Look sharp! Raging star! Champion wall! Wall flight! Raging flame! Go where you going? Select here goes! This one's mine! Take that! Not in your dreams! Going in! Celestial River! I'm coming! Elusive Armor won't save you! Can you take it? Take this! Elusive no further! Tempest Whirl! Going in! Here you do it! What's wrong? Hey! Blow them away! This, I can become even stronger. It's on!
You've got spirit!
I'm on flight!
Is it too late to talk over our differences?
Denied!
No!
Air pressure! Look sharp! Raging flame! Bestow thy mystic mercy! Fairy circle! This one's mine!
Allow me to help you.
Raging flame! This one's mine!
You're mine!
Ready! I'm on it! This one's mine! Tempest Whirl! Flight! This one's mine! Going in! Razor Cyclone! Here goes! I can carve through one! Electric
Air
shock!
pressure!
Ice prison!
Another incantation ruined.
This one's mine! Hydration orb! Tempest Whirl!
The enemy wields arts too.
You'll soon see about that!
I'm ready!
I'm able now! Hey! Take that! That'll bring you down! Electric shock! Swallow dare! Here goes! Here's another! Raging storm! Swallow dare! Going in! Begin! Hit! Swallow dare! One last permanent render! This one's mine! Going in! I'm on it! Hit! Take that!
Lord, I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life!
A hard-won victory. Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making... them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone?
No backing down!
This one's mine! Hard steel! This one's mine! Raging storm! I think I'll pass on the handshake.
Mercy!
Puddle! Look sharp! Tempest, not on my watch!
Allow me to help you.
Celestial River!
Easter!
Ice prison!
Run and rest! Now you see what I can do! Take this!
Divine Save! Where are you going? This one's mine! In here!
Soaring blast!
Meteor storm!
Denied! Eagle ray!
Cyclone!
This one's mine! Can't get out of this!
This one's wall! Look sharp! Here goes!
Bestow thy mystic mercy.
On guard! One more!
Very
Bullseye!
Don't suffer in silence.
Raising
Illusion!
Swallow dance! Going in! Here goes!
Soaring
Raising flame! Punty-lash! Swallow dance! This one's mine!
Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop. Swallow dance! This one's mine!
Bestow thy mystic mercy.
Going in!
I'm on it. Very
Thanks so much! Celestial hammer!
Look sharp. I'll face you. Take this. Prepare to be sealed. You picked the wrong fight.
Look sharp!
Cure.
Going in!
Raising
Look
flame.
sharp! Divine Savior! Look sharp! Leave the
Raising flame.
Puddle! Going in! Close flight! Celestial hammer!
Now I'm real mad.
Look sharp!
I'll finish you here and now.
Look sharp! Puddle! Not on my watch!
I'm on it.
This one's mine!
Save you.
You get this! Field! That'll bring you down!
Raising
This one's
flame.
blah blah blah! Speed!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Hydration orb!
I'm on it! Begin! Come and get it! I'm something!
Raging storm! Celestial
Heal my
hammer!
weary companion!
Ice prison!
Swallow dance!
Flawless flight!
Eat this!
Puddle!
Take this!
A chain between blah blah
Raising
blah magic!
flame! Eat dirt! Swallow
Sleep now.
dance! Elusive
Going
deity!
in!
Eagle ray!
Startup!
Raising
Blah blah
flame!
blah! Cyclone!
dance!
Going in! Tempest whirl! Running! Not in your dream! Close one! Gotcha! Blah blah blah! Arrow squall! I owe you one for that! Don't get in my way! You get the tip! Cyclone! Going in! I'll take it from here! Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar! Look sharp!
I'll smash you!
Take
Come
that!
on!
Tempest Whirl! I'm
Elusive
ready!
deity! Blazing flame!
Celestial!
I'm ready!
Dohalim!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
That was a little close for comfort.
Bestow thy mystic mercy!
On guard! Raging
I
Storm!
really owe you one, Ron.
Puddle! Swallow this!
No further!
Hydration Orb! These ones can run rings around us! Razor Cyclone!
Swallow dance! Elusive
Celestial Hammer! Here goes!
I'm on it!
Ice Prison!
Burn! I'm just getting
Elusive
deity! Eagle ray!
On guard!
Burn!
Celestial Hammer!
Take much more. Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Breath
Here
of
goes.
life! Heal my weary
One more.
companion! Cure!
Razor Cyclone!
The flame inside is yours to be let free!
Eat this! One last one! Blah blah blah! Burning
Shattering
Strike!
of pieces! No further!
A whirling struggle!
Come and get this one's mine! Heal my weary companion! I felt fine not too long ago. I'm on it, baby! So you clamor for my
This
true
one's
power?
mine.
Can you take it? Breath of life! Heal my weary companion!
Primed and ready! This one's mine!
Elusive deity.
Where are you going? Eat this!
Behold! The Earth's pulse! Tectonic vision!
Going here goes! Dohalim!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! On guard! Here goes!
Swallow dance!
On guard! Flawless
The
flight!
abyssal
Ice Prison! On guard! Celestial Hammer!
Aqua Serpent!
Going in! Putter!
Armor won't save you!
Magic Gazam! Burning Strike!
Going in! That frigid does it! the wrong fight!
Divine Savior! You get
Swallow dance!
Dohalim!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
I don't think I'm going to be able to do any more healing for now.
No further!
Engaging!
Burning! Firmament Render! Arrow Wall!
A showdown between Blade and Fist.
Hydration Orb! Tempest Whirl! Blow of Light! Where that came from? Celestial Fair enough! Electric Shock! If it's in the sky, it's mine! Celestial Arc Shield! Razor! Not in your dreams!
Look sharp! No art for being interrupted.
Divine Save!
This one's mine!
Look sharp! Make it rain! Here's a nice one last one! Divine Savior!
It's go time! I can carve through
The
walls!
flames will roar! The flames will roar! Burning Strike!
Take it!
A whirling fire support!
This one's mine! Swallow dance!
I'm
Blow 'em down! Elusive deity! Soaring
Hydration Orb! Tempest Whirl! Blow Spike!
Now I'm in the groove!
Let the marksman handle this!
I'm on! Leave the charge! That's
Blow
enough!
Spike!
Raging flame!
Razor Cyclone!
Swallow dance! Fairy circle!
Make it
Thanks so
rain!
much! Time! Alpin!
In an instant!
Impact Frost!
Barely a blip on our radar.
Coming through.
Bring him down!
Hydration Orb!
Going in!
You made me angry.
Smite with
That
blackened
was a
blade.
bad
Blow
idea.
Flight! I can't let the hatred consume me! Blow Flight!
That freaking does it!
Electric Shock! This one's mine!
First strike! Filter retake this!
Gusty Nail!
Burn!
In here!
Far enough!
Meteor Storm! Arrow Claw! Not in your dreams!
Regenerate!
This one's
Let me
mine!
carve through! Make it rain! Don't suffer inside!
Divine Savior!
Shield!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes! Bestow thy mystic mercy!
Here's another!
Swallow dance!
Hydration Orb! May a thousand gales!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Raising flame!
Magic Gazelle!
Swallow dance!
Sleep now!
Ignite!
Blah blah blah! Meteor!
Look shot! On
Arrow Claw!
Take this! Swallow dance!
This one's mine.
Can't get out of this!
Razor Cyclone!
This one's mine.
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
I'm gone! Raising flame!
Flight!
Bestow thy mystic mercy! Oh! Now I'm real mad! Very simple! Appreciate that! Listen!
One last one!
Can you take it?
Hydration Orb!
Flame! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Firmament Render!
Does it hurt? You're mine!
Swallow Flight!
Raising flame! Now I'm in the groove!
Electric Shock!
Can you take it?
Not on my watch!
I'm ready!
Swallow Flight!
Elusive deity!
My exploits are bearing fruit. This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah, it was all just a little sudden, that's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
So I was muted because apparently people don't understand the fucking concept of shutting doors quietly. This is gonna be a boss fight, so let's go ahead and save. Let's get Alphen in for this boss fight. It's probably gonna be important that I have him. I should really look into giving Kisara something that gets her all the aggro.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
What the hell?
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when...
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to control Zugos like that before.
How about with the stone that looks suspiciously like a master core?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handled the Zugos. Then we get some answers.
That'll bring
Aim for the weak spot.
Look sharp! Take this! There!
Maelstrom!
Can you take it? A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well I'm here to stop it. I'm gone. Raging!
Shine! Regeneration! Regenerate!
Have it! First force!
Don't suffer in
Vacuum blaze!
In here!
Incineration wave!
Here
Look
goes!
out! You're mine! No
Raging
escape!
storm!
Dragon form!
Firmament breaker!
That flame inside me yearns to be let free!
This one's mine!
Eagle ray! Incineration wave! You picked the wrong fight!
Arrow squall!
Double demon fang! Incineration wave!
Eat dirt!
My turn! On your knees! Double demon fang!
Where are you going? Arrow
Dazzle! Stardust! Rising!
Shine! Radiant light!
There!
Force of regeneration! Shine!
Incineration wave!
Force
Here
of
I come!
regeneration!
I'm not done!
Take this!
Strike! This is looking good!
Benediction light.
Heal!
Can't
I
be
owe you one! Look up!
May 1,000 gales
Double
tear you
demon
to
fang!
shreds!
Snake of the
Incineration
abyssal
wave!
clear for us a
nails!
path.
Aqua serpent! Iron cleaver!
Further.
Come on! You...
Why did that do? Okay.
Warriors made one!
Double demon fang!
Security!
Heal! I owe you one!
Maelstrom!
Rising falcon! There!
Can you
May
take
1,000
it?
gales
Elusive
tear you to
deity!
shreds!
It's wide
This
open!
one's
It
mine!
won't escape me.
Eagle ray! Try this! Explosive ray!
1,000 gales tear you to shreds!
Ignite!
Oh.
Rusty nails! This
Double
one's
demon
mine!
fang! Incineration wave!
Going in!
Double demon fang!
Poodle!
Forgive
Dragon
me.
form!
This is my fault.
You're mine! No escape!
Bestow thy
Dragon
mystic
claw!
Still got some fight left in me!
Pierce through!
Another incantation ruined.
Sorry!
Double demon fang! Execution!
I'm gone!
Double demon fang! Can't move!
This one's
Imbue this
mine!
vanquished soul with life.
Going in!
Resuscitation.
Not done yet!
Force of regeneration.
Sonic thrust!
Going in!
Legion blade!
Allow me to help you.
Incineration
Imbue
wave!
this vanquished soul with life.
Double demon fang!
Make it rain!
Look sharp! Lightning tiger blade!
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with life.
Vacuum
Resuscitation.
blade!
I'm gone!
Incineration
Still
wave!
got some fight left in me! I'm gone!
Begin!
Here it comes! Focus! On your toes, everyone!
Shine. Radiant light.
Radiant
Force of
cyclone!
regeneration. Regenerate.
Double demon!
Oh no, duh! I have to turn all these off for Rinbo when she's the fucking see. I'm playing as the computer. I can worry about all that as her later. I'll turn this off for her.
Now
Let
you've
us
gonna
take to the
tick
fray.
me
I couldn't
off!
make it in time. Let us take to the fray.
Double demon fang!
Reflect on thy sins. They smite with black.
Try harder! Not a chance! Back this one's all mine! Burn in hell!
On your knees.
Double demon fang! Incineration wave!
Imbue this vanquished soul with life. Resuscitation.
Double demon fang!
I've still got some fight left
Their
in me!
arts were interrupted.
Incineration wave!
That'll bring you down!
Double demon fang!
Appreciate the help! Divine Streak!
It's in your hands now.
Stay away from my friends!
All disasters made one! Come forth, the helix of purity! Maelstrom! On guard! A whirling
Your
struggle!
mother-
Bring you back from death's abyss!
rest for the wicked.
Illuminate the dark!
mine.
Come forward!
Demon Fang! Come on!
Going between heaven and earth. A wailing banshee of lightning!
Strike!
In here!
Try harder! My turn! Now!
Hit!
Take this!
Forward action!
Shotgun!
Here's the charge the level! Magic is down!
Double Demon Fang!
I'm ready! I'll be saving this one!
Try harder! The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Burn in hell!
Maelstrom! Something special!
Double Demon Fang!
Illuminate the
Incineration
dark!
wave!
Where are you going? Holy glimmer!
Dazzle!
On guard!
Rising
Holy
Falcon!
land! Came between heaven and earth! A wailing banshee of lightning!
Here I come!
Divine fate! A whirling struggle!
Could do without this pain!
Winds of heaven! First force sealed! I'll be saving this one!
Double Demon Fang!
Regenerate!
Firmament render!
I owe you one!
Arrow squall!
Double Demon Fang!
Got him on the run.
Don't get cocky!
Arm together, everyone.
Still anyone's fight!
I'll smash you!
Either way!
A chain between heaven and earth!
No further!
Looks bad.
Wits about you, people.
Begin!
Divine
It's on!
a whirling struggle!
Double Demon Fang!
Winds of heaven! First force in here!
No.
Oh.
Elusive deity! Eagle Ray!
Where that came from?
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with love. Resuscitation!
Divine fate! A whirling
Not
struggle!
done yet! of life! Heal my
Winds of heaven! First
Shine!
force!
Radiant light!
Double Demon
Force of
Fang!
regeneration! Incineration wave!
I never miss! I'll be
Regenerate!
saving this one!
No honor being interrupted. This is some punishment.
You'll pay for that!
Sleep now. There's more for the stockpile. In here. Look sharp. I'll be saving this one. I'll bring you back from
This one's all mine!
Resuscitation.
No!
Lunar
They've
blade.
got us cornered.
We're not finished quite yet.
You're right. We can still turn this around.
I'll bring you back from death
Elusive
to
deity! Eagle Ray!
resuscitation. Here, let me help.
Not done yet!
First aid.
won't save you! I'll make you! This one's all mine! Shion!
This one's got your name on it.
That was a bit chaotic.
Now it's just her! Faria! Can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning! The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case,
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, He was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzalik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest,
They all
he'd
did
still
that
be
on his
alive.
own.
That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my
I guess
sins.
Kelzalik is indirectly a
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
Oh, another flashback. Here we go. Is it going to be more of Alphen stuff? Hell yeah. They're inside the wedge? And there's the Renis Alma.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
Is the Renaissance what triggered the thorns? What is this? What is going on? That's what happened? The thorns got to Alphen and it made him go berserk?
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her, it reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience.
Yo, I think...
So, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure!
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Okay.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way.
That vision we saw, it was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent.
Okay, so let me get out my theory. So, I think what happened 300 years ago is, I think now, Naori's memories, or like will, is like completely etched, like fused with Dana's, which is why they're saying Naori's memories. And what I'm thinking is, the ceremony is a way to keep the thorns in check. And so every 10 years they have to redo the ceremony with the Maiden and the Renis Alma to make sure that Thorns doesn't swallow everything up. That's what I'm thinking is happening. So the ceremony isn't actually a bad thing. It's just that it turned into a bad thing because Renis began forcefully taking Danans to sacrifice themselves for the sake of sealing away Thorns. So it's like Dark Astral Energy wants to swallow everything up. Light Astral Energy is trying to stop that. So they're forcefully using the ceremony to delay like the end of everything. Holy shit.
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns, as well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens. I just need a little... Soon, I have to be ready to face anything. I'm determined.
Okay, so I don't know if this is the final boss. Somehow I doubt it's the final boss, but... Hey, I remember this. This is an Alphen's vision.
Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
For the people of Lenegis, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How did they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, Sovereigns and Forbidden Zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority. Grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long. I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Danon astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Danon. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign?
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the Master Cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only Sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns. neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a Sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign. And Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now. Naori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori...
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes. And this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen. That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
I don't like this. This looks like a boss fight. That looks like the zone for the area for the ceremony. Alright, let's save one more time just in case. I don't see any heal things I can use.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
What? Oh, my eyes.
Naori. What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renis Alma was lost, and Alphen, the Sovereign, was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted, and for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse onto my descendants as well. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat, too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just...
Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Danon voice speaking through her?
Wow, that's how. Wow, they got new outfits. Dude, they look cool.
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the Maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Shion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Shion.
It's possible? You really think so?
Without you dying.
We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
No, it isn't! You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Grinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah, we can protect the world and save Shion at the same time.
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renan lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shion. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop. Thank you, Naori. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage, and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shion. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories
is the reason for your curse.
The thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No. The truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself, and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake, so I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes. Until our future is finally in our hands.
I'm missing 2 titles. Oh, it gives... Okay, it's giving me hints. Oh, wow. Hold on, I have to find a weapon that matches the color palette now. No, I'll just keep her on Noble Rose. It'll be fine.
Sounds like this Naori chick had quite the big heart.
Her position demanded nothing less, from the sound of things. She didn't focus on differences, least of all those between Renans and Danans.
Yeah. It was Naori who first showed me that such a thing was even possible. And then she saved my life by sending me back home to Dana.
Not only that, but she willingly stayed behind on Lenegis for the sake of her people. It sounds like she was quite the hero, all right. A truly caring person.
It's as if walls meant nothing to her. The ones separating the Renans from the Danans, or herself from others. She had no need for them.
Which basically meant that she never had anything to break down in the first place, huh? Yeah. I think you may be right about that.
You inherited that legacy. Her wish for the world.
Don't I know it?
She's kind of like a lodestar guiding our way, showing us what we can aspire to.
Sorry about that. I thought Alphen and Xion got like special particle effects where they walk, but I think it's just for this room. But yo, take a look at Alphen's new outfit though. I'll switch over to Xion too so you guys can get a look at that one. And look at her. But in any case, I think that's a good place to stop. Thank you guys for tuning in today. If you enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow button. If you're watching this on YouTube, consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. You can always take back your subscription later. I need that algorithm going. Yeah. Bye. I don't think there's gonna be a stream tomorrow, since tomorrow is usually family bit and day. But yeah. Bye guys.